Saw some fragments the other night of a postmodern opera. I went like this. There's one phrase after another. I lost my book. I lost my umbrella. I lost my hat. I lost my dog. I lost my house. I lost my hair. I lost my health. I lost my love. I lost my faith. I lost my hope. And it just went on and on like that in such a powerful way. Powerful way. Loss is one of those. We don't want loss in our face like that. It was so stark and so striking. And it's one of the things that there's one thing that we are connects our common humanity. It's loss. Right? Small losses and big losses, inescapable to be on this planet and not experience loss, right? Absolutely inescapable. I know, and boy, it's been hard. It's a hard one for me to even reflect on. And the Buddha said, really, this is one of the things we should be reflecting on every day. There are a few things we should reflect on every day. The existential unavoidables, the things that we are not going to be able to escape, that we all share. And one of them, and the hardest one, is loss. And yet it is the thing that connects us. When we kind of know it, it's not that we don't know it, that all things change, that we're all going to be separated from things that are near and dear to us, and we're not here forever. It's just that they're really hard to hold in a balanced way. These reflections. It's really hard to find our sea legs in this matter of loss. There's a tendency to want to turn away from it completely until we can't. I'm still working with this one. I'm working with it right now. I don't even talk about it. I can read about it. I do cognitively. Like Ajahn Chah used to have this wonderful expression, that many of you have heard it. We should relate to things as if they're not going to be forever. And his famous line was, the cup is already broken. Your favorite cup, you drink out of it as if it's already broken. It's not going to be here forever. Don't be so surprised when things break. But we are surprised when things break. We are surprised when loved ones get really sick. Yeah. And we're surprised. There's so many levels of loss too. Yeah. My umbrella, I get upset when I lose an umbrella, right? And there are people dealing with so many levels of loss that I can't comprehend. Levels of loss that people are dealing with. There's so much homelessness out there now. There's so many refugees now who are being upended from their entire worlds, and I get upset because I lost my umbrella on the subway. It's just like the humility of that. I remember when I had one, look, I've been blessed with good health, but I had a detached retina several years ago. Detached retina, I don't know if any of you have experienced that. So if you don't catch it fairly early with a small tear, it can be a pretty big deal. I always used to think, well, I'm pretty blessed. If something happens to me, please may it not be my eye. maybe not be my eyes. Well, it was my eyes. I have eye karma, that's retina. And as part of the process, besides the fact that they have to go behind your eyeball, I won't go into any more details than that. Um, for the first 10 days or so, you can't do anything. You're completely blind in one eye. And we're pretty attached to our eyesight. Of things that we're attached to in our physical seeing, it orients us, right? You have to keep your eyes down, like, straight down 20 hours a day for 10 days. If you follow instructions, and then there are always these scary instructions. And if you don't, it's okay. We just might have to do it again, or you might go blind. Okay, I think I'm going to do it 20 hours a day. And you can't read, you can't watch anything. You have to sleep like this, They have these contraptions where you can kind of sleeping face down, right? And it was really helpful for me. And this is true whenever I'm dealing with loss. It's one of the reflections that's helpful for me. It isn't denying what I'm feeling, but it connects me. It's been so helpful for me to connect with the common humanity of whatever it is, whatever loss I experience. I immediately remind myself how fortunate I am that I've got medical care like this, I mean, people absolutely are still going completely blind when this happens to them. Right? But also, how fortunate I am that I have meditation. I think people would go out of their minds for 10 days having to have your head down 20 hours a day and you can't see anything. You can't read. It was not a big problem for me. I just thought, oh my goodness, isn't it good that it happened to me rather than somebody else who'd be so anxious and flipped out about this, really frightened, really frightened. Yeah. So whatever it is, whatever it is, I remember Susan and I went to the Library of Congress one time in Washington, D.C. It was an amazing building. It was like a kind of like a cathedral. It was just stunningly. The architecture was pretty amazing. And I remember just walking in, just randomly walking over to a shelf, and I saw through, and it was and a print from the 15th century, an obscure Italian philosopher writing, "When death spreads his wings across the sky, no one is spared, not pauper, not patrician, not pope." And the thing about the common humanity, about loss, about big loss, is that no one escapes it. Money doesn't help you with this one. It doesn't. Not the bigger losses. We're all subject to it. We're all part of this. We're all part of this. We all share in this one. The inescapability of it. And it's just great humility for me, and even trying to reflect on it and trying to stay somewhat in balance with our losses without, oh, I'm only feeling it, this much pain because I'm attached. Well, of course I'm attached. We're all attached. We're wired to be attached. We're mammals. We're social beings. Of course we're attached. Of course we're attached. And yeah, I don't want to be detached. I want to survive my losses. I don't want my losses to shut me down so much that I can't love anymore. Right? I don't want to get so embroiled in my losses that I just give up. but I don't want to not feel my losses. How do we feel? How do we feel into our losses and uh, sit upright in the midst of our losses and mourn like the whole world mourns, you know, and and carry on, yeah, yeah, and keep loving locally and keep loving again, not stopping loving, yeah, yeah. So yeah, one of those worldly winds that um, we must make friends with in some regard, not friends, but we have to make some relationship with, you know. Uh, yeah, we have to.
Mhm.
Yeah.